Good morning, everyone. I'm Zach, and with me here is Tanya, and we are heading into the first semifinals for the day of the ROG Showdown series powered by Intel. And I'm really happy to be here because we have two fantastic matches up ahead for you today. The first is going to be the upper bracket final between the two teams that have so far been undefeated in the course of this tournament. And so, Tanya, how are you feeling being here today?
I'm pretty excited, and I would really appreciate ROG Showdown series for bringing in only female tournament. And I just had the conversation with both the teams participating right now. They said that leg gamers, with of course we cannot deny, powered by Intel. Sure, this has given an a perfect platform to go ahead, grab the opportunity, show the set of skills, and grow together. And not only that, they said they want to turn themselves into the inspiration where they are going to be one of the public figure where other women are also going to follow them. So I think this tournament is everything that we both women on the desk needs to achieve.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think that at least for one of the teams playing, they've already achieved that because Alter Ego Celeste,
Yeah.
So yeah, before we head into it, the first semifinal is going to be between Alter Ego Celeste and Zol Miraki. So Alter Ego as a team, they've already achieved what you would say is a pinnacle. I think so far they're undefeated in APAC. In fact, they are world number three when it comes to the Game Changer series of events, which is the official VCT circuit for women. So definitely a team to watch out for. And Zol Meraki, well, they're not slacking either. We've seen them multiple times during the Game Changers events before. And I think currently they are ranked number six in APAC. So both of these teams are, already quite high. And I think they, like you mentioned, Tanya, they do serve as an inspiration for quite a lot of us. At least me, whenever I see any replay, I feel the urge to play Valorant. I whiff my jet knives, but it still works.
Oh, well, they are also going to work out with the best of the shows possible, because when I had a word with Alter Ego Celeste girls, they just said they want to go in, and they not only want to go in, they want to go all in with the 2-0 scoreline. And for the very first map, they are trying to look forward to for the scoreline of 13 for somewhere. They're not going to allow, and let's see if that is going to happen or not. But there's a little bit of difference in both the teams. Alter Ego Celeste is the team which is undefeated by far into the entire tournament of ROG Showdown series. Now, if we talk about Zolmiraki here, they have got the ECG happening. Every single time they're pushed down to the lower bracket, they are winning it, and with the brightest color possible. And they are again showing up back into the best of the tournaments, into the best of the performances. Let's see if that is going to continue today as well, or today Zol has got different plans to show.
I mean, they aren't in the lower bracket yet. You never know. So if they do go, they do have some tough competition waiting for them because the second matchup is going to be whoever loses this versus Bren Victress. Now, Bren Victress is also a team that you really need to talk about a bit because they are, I think, currently number two in APAC, and they're a team that basically. The way they lose, it's been really close. I think the only team that they've lost to so far to push them in the lower bracket has been AECL. So either way, it's going to be a bit of a rematch between the teams participating so far, the top three here, as they fight it out for the prize. And it's interesting that you mentioned the maps because I think that we will be having the veto coming through very soon. And yep, the first map for the series is going to be Haven. I think the order is a little bit mixed up, but the first map is going to be Haven. And I think that it's Zol who's going to be starting off on defense here. The pick has come through from ACL, and this is a map which they are really, really comfortable with because I don't think they've ever lost on Haven. In fact, even during the Open 3 for VCT, they were in overtime, but they managed to win like a 1v4 to take it forward. So definitely one of those maps which are super confident on. I think in the entire map pool, it's the one they have one of the highest win rates on, and they've played it quite a bit as well. A 90% win rate.
Mhm. And if you only talk about their achievements, sure, there are going to be many, and the pointers are going to be we cannot stop counting the pointers. And talking about in particular about the maps that we are going to witness, there are total of three, as you mentioned, Heaven being one of their strongest map. Nonetheless, none of the map is going to make them shake at all. They are very comfortable in any of the map, because the second one is going to be the map of mine, where on paper they're again scoring near to the 80, closing to the 90% mark, and that is pretty clean clean, and they have got a very good upper hand when there is about the victory from the attacker's side. Though they are going to initiate, and they are going to initiate on the attacker side for the map of mine. Now, if we talk about the decider map, if at all we are reaching here, because both of the team did look little aggressive about the score line, both of them wanted to go clean sweep of 2-0, and if that happens, it's going to be great. If not, fracture is one of my personal map to cast. And talking about fracture here, well, Zol has also got a pretty good hand on the map of fracture with an overall win ratio of 80%. And talking about, once again, if we talk about alter ego here, they have also got a good performances on the attacker side. They have got almost 60% of the win ratio, and on papers they have got 73, and they have played much more compared to what Zol has. So experience is also going to get counted.
I suppose, but the thing is, Fracture and Breeze especially, but especially Fracture, ever since it came out, it's been pretty much a permaban. So it's only in the last few weeks that you really see teams playing it. So I think neither of these teams, it's not really a comfort pick for them. It's just what it happened to end up on after the vetoes coming through. So it depends whether each team can win their map pick. Also, you need to consider the rosters because ACL they've been fielding the same roster for this entire year so far. They did have a little bit of a change when Taratia left, but their new pickup, she's been fitting in quite well with the rest of the team. And well, it's not new anymore. It's kind of old at this point, but definitely Napski, she's doing a fantastic job, especially with her roles on the initiators for the team. Mostly, she does pick up a chamber now and then, but most of the time it is her on an initiator. I think she's the most flexible player for the side of AECL so far. But we have to talk about Zol here because they have managed to considerably upgrade their firepower, and I'm very very excited to see how this particular player is going to be performing in this particular tournament because her name is Lucidity and she used to play for Sovereign, and this again, she's one of the players who really stands out. Like, you know how every team has a standout player, right? It's going to be tens for Sentinels, it's going to be an Neri, of course backed up by the rest of her team for the side of ACL, and I think for the side of Zol, at least during the course of this tournament, from what I can see of the matches, it is going to be Lucidity. And I had a chance to message her and talk to her, and I was like, yo, are you joining this team permanently? And she was like, let's see how this goes. So definitely this week she is excited to be practicing with Zol, and I'm pretty interested to see how it's going to go because again, Lucidity, I think in the last series she played against in the Game Changers VCT, she did single-handedly managed to pull back a scoreline of, I think it was like 10-12 or something. She managed to take it to OT, and then one round she got a 4K to be able to win the OT for her team. So one of those players you really want to look out for. Mostly plays duelist. She does prefer the Jet and the Neon, a very very flashy players. So I'm excited to see how she's gonna fit in with the rest of the Meraki team, Zol Meraki team.
Well, now, as you already mentioned, the two duelists, even I would want to see if it is going to be a zip zap or it is going to be all about the slicing and dicing. Either way, that is going to be very entertaining. And just in case, Zach, if I had to ask you about what are your expectations for the day, and we do have the analytics on paper, off board, and also the conversation just before the start. What are your expectations for the day? Are you looking forward for the map of fracture by the end of the day, or your expectations are about the clean sweep of 2-0 happening?
I don't have any expectations. I just hope there's some really good Valorant happening. That's about it because I've seen all these players before when I was working forecasting the game changer circuit. So definitely I know what they're all capable of. And ACL, I think at least last year they used to have like perfect 2Os, 3Os, etc. But it's a testament to how much work has gone into the women's tournaments in the APAC region that all of them are giving competition. I think, in fact, the last finals they played, it was 3-2. It was pretty close. So I think I hope that might be the case here, that we do have that kind of a map coming through. And I think we are heading into the game right now, though. So let's see what kind of agent picks these teams have for us. So far, it seems like NAD is gonna, say I'm not gonna go for my trademark Jet. I'm gonna be heading in for a raise instead. Audiophilia on her usual Oban. Ayumi, in fact, she seems to be wanting to go for the Sova. So on Haven, one of the agents that Ayumi plays the most is usually Chamber, but I think that Alter Ego, they're considering possibly having a change of pace. And in the meantime, on the opposite side, it's going to be Capricious who goes in for a breach. Executes on the Astra, which is pretty interesting because you rarely see Astra these days after the nerf coming through and of course the buff coming through to the other controllers. Nicole on the Killjoy, Mija on the Sova, and Lucidity, she seems to be debating, does she go for a Neon, a Jet? Well, let's see what duelist she does pick, but so far it seems like ACL are going for a very aggressive comp, I would say, looking at what they've picked.
Mhm. And I do like the pick of Fate coming in. And on the map of Haven,
Choose your
well,
agent.
competing Sova is going to be very difficult with the Fate because that is my personal opinion. Though Mija will have an aggressive power to go ahead with pre-plant or post-plant, however. But talking about anyway, they are comfortable with the players, and that is what at the end of the day it matters. And yeah, the players have chosen, they have locked it. If we talk about the agent selection, they are sticking to the same double initiator lineup, and on the other end, it is a mix of the duelists. And what are your call outs for Fate coming into the pack into the picture, that too on the map of Heaven? Do you think it is going to be functionally well as compared to what we have so on the other end?
I think Fade is definitely one of the initiatives that really works well for a map like Haven because the lineups they give you a lot of information as to whether someone's pushing into your site or where exactly the players are playing. Like there's a lineup for C which basically covers the entire site. It honestly does the job of a Sova drone but better. And of course you have to talk about the prowlers as well. When you have areas like Garage as well as a shot that you want to clear out without actually worrying about a judge or a shorty. Well, again, it's one of those things that really helps out. So I think we have seen Fade being used slowly but steadily into the
Yeah.
meta, especially on maps like Haven and I think Icebox. There are a few maps where she gets a lot of love. So Haven is one of them because of how her kit is structured. And we have to talk about the ult as well, right? Like Nightfall covers the entire site. So again, that's going to be a lot of confusion direct in your enemy's ranks if you use it right. We did see it, in fact, just yesterday when Enigma was playing against Made in Thailand, and I think it was AVK who was on it, and he definitely managed to pop off. So I'm excited to see how Alter Ego are going to use it because it is a relatively new pick for them. I haven't seen them pick Fade really before. It seems like Ayumi is going to be on that server, starting off with a bit of a drone. She will spot two of the players here, and Lucidity, she's not going to be caring about being spotted out because she's going to be pushing anyway.
Ooh.
And they managed to get that first pick onto Alter Ego here. Energy gets the trade though, so the Precious is going to go down, and the spike will be heading down onto the A side. But this is a position for Nicole on the lurk. On the push here, but Energy will take her out as well. Two players still left towards long though. It seems like they will have to try and hold on to the side somehow.
Last player
As it seems
standing.
like Iceberg and Energy are just deleting people.
Well, very important. I am literally seeing the way she got the triple and a finisher coming in from Iceberg. A good control of sight, though. Lots of players was also spotted. And I like the way how the fight between these two teams initiated with a shock dart elimination. Now that's great. And let's see if that continues because it was the fight between the Soas and one Soa being taken down with a shock dart. And for the start, this is the last thing for the day I was expecting in person, but expect the unexpected, ladies and gentlemen. First round going into the favor of Team AE here, and Canary with a lot of energy. And this energy was spotted while I was having a conversation as well. And I did mention that you are not only energized for yourself, but you're also giving me that positive energy to be a good to be on the desk with a lot of energy. This time, the players are looking extra committed to site. See, they've got the entire control of the site. Spike shall be planted in no time, and the player joining in.
That was a bit rough, I would say, because they decided to go for a gamble stack. It didn't work out really well, and now they have to try and retake the side. But
One
it
enemy
seems like
remaining.
Nabuboy wants none of it as Iceberg and Nabuboy clean it up here. It's just gonna be Capricious alone right now, Tanya, and it seems like there's not much she can do because it's gonna be the hunt down coming in for the side of ACL, and Ayumi is gonna clean it up. They did manage to get one pick, so that's one Spectre off the board, but that's the conversion. And this is the round which ACL, they should be trying to win if they want to try and get a clean sweep, like you mentioned, right? It is their bonus.
And the sad part was Team Zone did not have an entire okay, you don't have an entire control because this is map of Heaven. You really have to split very good. But there was not even a single player to take care of side C. That was a sheer prediction that they were expecting that the players are again going to push in towards side A, but it was all dashing entry, getting the side once again going for the same play, except now the Garage is having a good control, but Teneri is not going to allow anything. He took down two already. Capricious has taken down the energized girl, and now it is the fight of the equals, 3 versus 3. Capricious still going in through the Garage. There's nobody to stop except
Spike
for the
planted.
smoke. Is she going to walk through the smoke? Is going to be a question here. Recon sent. Recon wasted out. No information still, but Capricious has got a good angle to take more.
Last player standing.
It's gonna be just Capricious left in the 1v3. Does have that Vandal, but nope. Nabuboy is gonna get the headshot with that Sheriff, and the conversion comes through. This is again something that you see very, very classically from Alter Ego, the aggression and the fact that they managed to capitalize on it. Because when you're fielding those specters on a bonus round, you really want to get into a close range fight, and that's exactly what they proceeded to do. And once you do get those initial picks, right, even if you do have just specters in hand, or you can manage to pick up upgrades as well, it is going to make things even more rougher because you can just play off trades at that point. And you saw how they managed to convert that round really well. Looking at the ultimates, though, it seems like Eneri and Ayumi are the closest to theirs. Both the Hunter's Fury and the Overdrive very, very close to getting into fruition. This time, they seem like they want to go towards the A side, but they have to deal with all the creature utility which has been stacked on the side here. Shouldn't matter much though because Eneri has some counter utility to throw in. Fate Haunt coming through as well to spot out anybody if anybody is playing backside. She's gonna be hit by that Tremor though, but the rest of her team is out to back it up. And Oriopulia, she's gonna be getting the first on the round here. The rest of her team coming in quickly, and Lucidity still somehow staying alive. Capricious though gets two beautiful headshots, and it's all just in the hands of the Fade here. Left in a 1v2. Sure, there is a player only on Shirus, but I don't know if she knows the position of the Killjoy here. Shot. She does see it, but it's not gonna be enough as Nicole will get the kill and convert this Thrifty for the side of Zol getting the first round on the board.
And what I really liked was they were put to ground zero after having an all Vandal round and all Shield round. Then going in, winning a Thrifty, that was the exact play set that they had to show that they are not competing with themselves with an easy opponents. It is going to be the fight, a tough fighter, and this is exactly what I heard coming in from the side of Team Zol. They said that they are going to have a tough fight, and we are fighters for sure. And I believe this is what they meant. And I like the way how everything was executed. Once again, side C is going to get committed. Ayumi getting in zone, but the showstopper is also going to pop in, but no destruction.
It does seem like they have control of the A side as Eneri does get that first pick, try to get the second, but Lucidity is there for the trade. Lucidity still holding onto the C side as strong as she can, but Iceberg gets it. What do you feel like getting the trades quickly as well? It's just going to be two players left right now. Capricious tries to walk, but she gets taken down. Nicole, we saw her pressure last time. Can she do it again is the question, but Ayumi will take her down. She's saying, nope, that's not happening. You might have gotten the best of us once, but this time I'm there to back up my fate. And that's going to be round number 4 going for Altered Ego. And that's a really, really interesting side take that they had because they did manage to capitalize on both the Fade utility as well as the Raze Showstopper to try and get some kind of entry into side. And you really have to come in Lucidity there, right? You know, when you usually hear the Showstopper coming towards you, it's you're just gonna be trying to run away, try to avoid it. But she and the rest of her team just try to take the fight there, and that helps them hold on to the side for a little bit longer. We do have almost all the ults available except for the Showstopper right now. So even if Zol does not have as strong an economy or firepower in their pocket, they do have some ults to work with here.
Now the ults is going to be 2 factors, and we do have Blade Storm and Hunter's Fury being activated on the side of Zol. No ult utility spotted, but Ayumi with that angle is going to get one and still holding the same. And she might be able to get one more. But before that, it is going to be Nabu who is going to deliver one more frag. Now 2 ults already used, and it is, I believe, it is all done and dusted, at least almost.
Yeah, it's just Capricious left alone. She's gonna be blinded by that Paranoia as well. Does have the flash to try and make things work. But gets one, gets two somehow. It's gonna be her left in a 1v2. But the Sova is really, really low here. I think she flashed herself by accident. And, you know, she almost converts that. But it's nevertheless going to be ACL to get that kill. And I love how they're playing this because they realize that there's a likelihood that the side of Zol is probably going to be pushing. And they wait for that. They get a pick or two. And then they go in the opposite direction. And that just shows how much experience this team has playing because these are the kind of higher tactics you expect to see from a team that is as professional as them. I think we are having a little bit of a timeout though as the side of Zol tries to regroup and figure out where exactly they're going wrong. Whether it's just them giving the first pick away, whether it's them not playing for map control, especially on a map like Haven, because when you have 3 sites, even if one of your players fall, it's going to make your defense so much more harder. And that seems to be the kind of trouble that they are having so far, because once one of them goes down, it just triggers the confusion as to what exactly to rotate. And ACL is fantastically capitalizing on that.
Sure, they are. And after investing a lot of ultimates and not being able to get the results exactly as they wanted, as the Blade Storm got activated, Ayumi still holding on to the spawn side, getting the frag out, wasting out the Blade Storm. I believe Team AE has got some strategies to work out with, and they are working it wonderfully well, forcing the timeout. And now let's see if this timeout is going to create any wonders or no. And the players are still holding the spawn, no commitment. But I like the split now. Finally, they are coming into 2 is to 1 is to 1 split. And there's always going to be a SOA to take care of Garage, though not right now.
Placing alarm bot.
Yeah, it seems like they are going to be going for an aggressive push. It is an eco round, to be fair. They do have the sheriffs to work with, and I think they just want to get a lot of map control and play off of that. I think ACL has read this perfectly fine. You do have two players who are going to be stuck watching this fan spawn. In fact, it's going to be Nabu Boy who gets 3 before she finally gets taken down here. Nicole will spot out Eneri, trying to get her through the smoke, but it's not going to really connect here. Only 2 players left right now for the side of Zol, and I don't think there's even a weapon that they can manage to pick up. Excuse though, she knows that it's gonna
Last
be
player
the C push that's
standing.
coming through, but the firepower from NAD is too good as she goes down. The Killjoy left in a 1v3. I think every bit of damage she can do, that's going to be what she's aiming for. But Ayumi is already on the lurk here as she makes her way through B. She's gonna. The Killjoy seems like, she's on the defense, but it seems like she's gonna be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Gets one though with that Phantom. Now left in a much more manageable situation. Does have the lockdown to work with. Will she expect the Omen on top of this box? I don't know if she heard the TP or not. And it's gonna be from behind, in fact, where Ayumi finally creeps upon her and takes her down. For a second, it looked like Zol could have had that, but it's gonna be Alter Ego take it away nevertheless.
They are leading, and the lead of 5 is fairly good. Few more rounds for the side switch, but before that, will Zol be able to chase as long as possible? And still, the same thing is continuing. Nobody wants to invest from the side of AE. No ultimates are being invested here. Let's see when are they planning to do, or maybe once they lose the player early on, they might want to invest. Right now, this is going to be the fight between the equal weaponry. Side A looks a little pushy, a little edgy, except for Spike still needs to get a control over Spike. Is still aware, false line 10, and maybe trying to peek in through the sewers. No information as of now. Gradually going in, and maybe holding an angle. Some pot shots, exchange of pot shots, no chip damage, nothing happening. At least
Oh,
not
no.
yet. But this is the time where
Gets
this
grounded.
can be executed very nicely. And NRE is going to take down Lucidity here. A good patient play here spotted.
ACL definitely capitalizing on every inch of map control they want to get. But Nicole, she's going to be the one trying to bring things back the side of Zol here. And it's really, really important that she stays alive because she does have that lockdown to work with. Managing to stall the plan a little bit with that nanostorm placement.
planted.
But it might not be enough because the advantage still lies in the
One
hands
enemy
of
remaining.
Alter Ego here. Left in a 2v1. It's just going to be the Sova all alone. Does have the utility left to work with, but it might not be enough. The paranoia definitely connecting. She's gonna in fact get in a headshot though. And Eri holding an off angle here as she tries to watch for the push. Orifluya is really low. It will just take one bullet or one shock to take it down. Ninja making her way into the side
One
here.
enemy
And it's gonna be
remaining.
her getting that kill. Just Eneri left in a 1v1 right now. And in fact, it seems like she wants to go for the half stick. Does not know the position exactly. Thinks that she might be coming from behind. Eneri will close it out. A very, very close round, but Alter Ego take it nevertheless. And again, you have to talk about the kind of executes that they're putting in, right? You think that the confidence they have and the lineup they have, they would just be able to rush in, but they're going to be waiting. They're going to be baiting out a lot of utility. You saw that, like you mentioned, you saw the fault line being baited out. You saw the Sova drone being baited out. They try and get a little bit of confusion going as well by breaking the Killjoy utility across the map. So it leaves Zol in a bit of confusion as to where exactly to commit their players. And again, this time, it seems like they want to commit for a mid and garage push as ACL have again read that light and they read that correctly, and they're just going to be going for a C push here.
Drone 10, nothing is going to stop. They are going to get information, except now finally from the shadows is going to get activated, and Peaches joins in, and is also going to use the golden screen after getting the flag. It's very well. Second shot, looking forward for multiple shots, and now Spike is under our control. Ayumi is going to take the revenge. Took the double, now it is 2 versus 2. And Nebula's right on point. Nabu holding an angle.
She does have the Nightfall to work with. So the issue for ACL here is that the spike is dropped on the site. That recon not really going to give away any info. Mija, she's still going to be holding a CT angle to make sure that they don't push through. And the time is looking quite healthy, nevertheless, for Alter Ego here. They do have, I think they're waiting for the Prowler to come through, as well as the recon to give away some information. That's the Hunter's Fury committed. That's going to be Execu's caught by it. Nightfall comes through as well. It's going to be Mina who gets marked and DK'd quite a bit. 1 HP on her. It's going to take just one bullet for her to go down, and Naboboy cleans it up. I really love how ACL played that. They cut the noise, created some confusion as to where they were coming from, waited for the recon to come back for the Sova on Ayumi, and once she gets the util in hand, it is going to be the round coming through for them. They played that 2v2 so perfectly, and it looks looking pretty rough for Zol right now, I would say, when you have like a score of 1-8, not exactly in a very healthy place. And to be fair, this is Alter Ego's map pick, so even if they do lose us heading into the next map, who knows what might happen.
Well, what just happened was initiating was from the shadows taken down and still gaining the round. They don't want a single round to be left away, moved out of their victory. And once again, this time it is a clear 5-stack rush towards A, and all the players are gradually moving in. Drone sent, no information, turret destroyed, and the entire site control gained. Spike shall be planted. There's a player on the heaven, though. We do have a Capricious there. Now that is a little risky. Might be able to get one. But Iceberg has got her own plan.
I think that they were playing for retake though. It's another reason why ACL did get it so easily, and that's going to be the lockdown committed. I don't know if they have the Cosmic Divide as well, because with that it's going to make retaking it very easy. An awkward interaction there between both the Soas, but it's going to be Zol Soa who does win it out. 2 players detained as well. It's going to be just Iceberg left in this 1v3 as he tried to defuse the spike with the overdrive. Managed to do a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough, as off the back of those 2 ultimates, Mija with a 3k will be able to complete the defuse, and that was a fantastic round from Zol. I love the read coming in. They were like, yeah, we have the lockdown, we have the Cosmic Divide, we can retake the site easily. In fact, we could possibly even stick the spike because they know where they planted, and it's not like there's a lot of stall utility available from the side of Alter Ego here. So a really good retake coming in from them. The question is, can they continue the momentum which they have just gained with the round?
The retake worked perfectly well, plan well executed, 2 ultimates, very well invested, gaining them around. But is it enough to continue what they have created? Because right now I believe what Alter Ego is about, their egos are hurt. Gaining the site, planting the spike, and ultimately not being able to control until the end. Now this is exactly where they are going to get aggressive. Once again, they do have Showstopper, and that is how I was expecting the round to begin. This time Showstopper is still delayed, and Mija is taken down, and Neri is not only going to do that, she's also going to take down other players. Site C under their control. Spike shall be planted once again. The retake cannot be executed as flawlessly, because at that time it was 5 versus 5. This time it is not.
It's still Lucidity available though for a team, and I think she expects the lurk coming in, does spot the Prowler, but I don't think she expects Napsky to have crossed over, and she doesn't, and Lucidity goes down. It's gonna be Naboboy who cleans up both of these players with the 3k on the round. Alter Ego at 9. And again, the ultimate management from Alter Ego is absolutely impeccable. They managed to really work on it, and it's very unfortunate for Mija that she was caught in that bad position, because you saw that she committed the Hunter's Fury, and well, she managed to tag a player with it, but unfortunately she's not able to get a kill, and by the time she's done with it, it's just going to be an 80 enough pace with that Showstopper. A bit of an unfortunate situation. No real ults available either. I think that they will try to get that A op for Lucidity, so she will have the Blade Storm at least to work with. In the meantime, they don't have a very good eco. That's the issue for them. So if they have to try and win this round, they have to like really work on what they have in the hands. It seems like they're going to be playing towards a short angle here. A lot of utility stacked up. They started giving away information as well that they're coming towards this A side. And Lucidity, in fact, she's going to be pushing forward through the Nano Swarm, but Iceberg, she's going to take her down. Nicole getting the trade, trying to get the second, but Ayumi still gets the headshot, even though she's possessed that. Exekis get the trade, Oriophilia gets takes down one more. It's going to be just one player left of that extremely aggressive execute coming in from Alter Ego. Mija on the flank here has to find 3 to somehow get the score for a team to a 9-3. You know, we've talked about the caster's curse and whether it can happen, but so far it seems unlikely, as Naboboy, she's going to be holding this angle, turns away at the wrong time, but but still somehow gets that kill. And that's going to be a 10-2 for Alter Ego, looking absolutely
Switching
dominating
sides.
is the word that comes to mind when you're looking at this pick.
Dominating is a little lesser word. I don't know what would be the better word to announce what Team Alter Ego is trying to get that. 10-2, switch. And now it is going to be Zol on the attacker's side. And if they are able to regain the momentum, still they are going to have very less rounds to prove themselves. And I believe the map choice coming in from the side of Alter Ego is already done, dusted. They went ahead and put in everything that they had to. Though one thing was a major miss here, because economy was getting crashed over and over time. Operators were never invested from the side of Zol. Now let's see if Alter Egos are going ahead, getting themselves some operator frags and ins, and this time it is going to be a garage push altogether. Only one player to watch out for, except for Media. Changing the
down
route,
mid.
no garage anymore, and Spike under control. Iceberg is already being the tip of the iceberg, but a lot below the water.
Yeah, Zol not looking in a very good position, because if they want to stage any kind of comeback, they'd have to try and win the pistol. But ACL is steadily converging on them, giving them no place to really go here. Lucidity, though, she does take the Reneri, tries to get the second and managed to do so. Mija taking down Ayumi, but that's a spike job. It's going to be a 2v2 right now on Lucidity. She doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. It has to be the trades coming through, which can really help out.
Remaining.
Orifilea will take on Lucidity in the end. That'll do it, catching out the position of Naboboy, but it's going to be her stuck between two players, and Boy will close it out. For a second, it looked like Zol could pull it back, but it doesn't seem very likely right now, especially considering they didn't get the spike plan. So that's going to be less money in the bank for them to work with in case they do go for a force. And they probably should, because it's 11-2. If they do eco yet again, I don't know. I think bringing it back from a 2-12 is pretty much impossible. And yep, they are going to be heading in for a force here.
They have to go for the force here, and in area with a Marshall, and let's see where is she wanting to hold on to. Well, she's going to stick on the side A, and I do like once again the split garage still being taken care by Neon. And area expecting a play on side A, nothing is happening. Once again, side B is totally pushed with the spike, except for one player with KJ quite too far spotted, and it's going to take her down. Not only one, they are reduced in numbers. Team AE, this shall be the time where they can win the round. Though Iceberg is still here, trying to move out of the garage doors, but which is widely stacked. But Ayumi has got a different plan, walking in through the windows. Nicole still holding near to the spawn. And now it is all up to the last player, Oreo.
Oreo in a 1v4, she has expected to work with, but so do her opponents, and I think they might be expecting her here. She does manage to get one, but the turret is doing a lot of damage before it finally goes down. 30 HP left on her. She's going to be trying to do as much damage as she can at this point, because there's not much time left for her to even try and get the defuse. And Oriofilia, well, I think she might manage to get one more, but Lucidity is ready for it and takes it down. And finally, the side of Zol managed to get a third round on the board off of that force spike. That was really well played by them, because you saw them getting the players who were pushing in from A to getting those two picks. Sure, they lost one, but it was a 2-for-1. It's still an advantage. And Nicole, especially on that sheriff. In fact, Nicole in this entire game has been doing a fantastic job for the side of Zol here. We saw it on defense, holding down the fort with KJ, investing a lockdown in really good places, etc., etc. So definitely a player that has been holding the fort for the side of Zol. This round, though, it seems like ACL are going to be on a bit of an eco. You do have some sheriffs, some other pistols to work with, but it just seems like they are going for a C execute. Zol already have the site, have made their way in, and Inedi gets that first shot, though, a headshot onto Nicole. That's a sheriff diff right there, and retake should be on any second.
Spike planted. It's all about the retake now. It is 5v4. Members advantage gain already, and Lucidity is going to make sure to reduce that as long as possible, as fast as possible. Lucidity still going for a triple here. Aftershock invested, no result, at least for the delay. Yes, it is going to work in for a while, and now here comes the horn. Browners standing, and Oreo is trying to go stick. Lucidity has to do everything to save the day, and she is able to get one more. It is a triple, and she's also going to get a 4 with that. Lucidity saves the day, saves the round. They're still in the match, they're still in the action. 4-11 is the score line.
Yeah, they do manage to win that round, which Aldrigo was echoing. And of course, Lucidity's 4K was fantastic because you saw the dash away from the shotty the first time. You saw a pre-fire, even though there was a smoke coming down for Oriophilia, and that 4K is going to close her out the round. But this is the problem here. It is ACL who finally has enough money for the rifles on the board here. And Lucidity does have that Blade Storm to work with, but I think she's just going to be sticking with the Phantom. And it's going to be Aldrigo who are back to their usual default here if you're looking at the defense. Ayumi puts out a recon, goes for that Altop farming, and so far it seems like Zol, they want to try and have a dual-pronged approach as they try to take control of A, making their way through A lobby, using the drone to clear out shot, and that might trigger a rotation is what they're hoping. But Oriophilia, she's not taking the bait, she's not moving from the seaside, it seems.
4-stack push towards C. Only one player to watch out for. How difficult or how easy it shall be? Well, it is going to be easy for Lucidity Shaw. Getting a frag, gain the site control, and the spike shall be planted in no time. And Nicole is planting the spike, which you mentioned, the caretaker of the fortress, the strongest queen of the pillars, and Ayumi sending the drone to get the information, and I believe it was enough of information, and now the trade's coming into the action. Ayumi trying to sneak in. Not going to be any easier with executives Nebula here and there,
Last
but
player
look at it,
standing.
Neri. Took a triple, one. Nicole with full of HP, Neri with very little to no HP. Now it's going to be a little brutal.
Brutal was the right word for that kill.
You did
Neri.
well.
She gets 3, does her best to bring back the round, but it's going to be Zol who take it nevertheless. 5-11. I think with that, Alter Ego's economy is going to be going down into the dumpster. They are going to be having to go for a half fight here. To be fair, we've seen them do more with less, but I don't know. It seems like a bit of a rough ask, but these girls can always surprise us. We did see that coming through in the first round, in fact.
I got money. Need something?
So you never know.
I
Either
got
way, they're
money.
looking
Need
at
something?
the map as well as what these players are playing. It seems like they want to go for a bit of aggression towards mid here. You do have the Neon as well as the Fade trying to get some control. You see the push coming through from Iceberg, and she's gonna be doing a little bit of a jump peek, Nicole, trying to make sure that her team isn't being pushed, and they're ready for it. They're gonna be opting to wait and see how much of a pick they can get before they go through. And they get one, can they get more? They can.
Well, this is Zol's on the attacker side, an entire Zol point
One
two.
enemy remaining.
Zol's 2.0 version, Capricious getting one more player down. It is all up to Ayumi. How many frags can she take with only Sheriff in her hand? It was only 4-round show, but she needs to get those exit frags. Some spot shots delivered. She might be able to get one, and she definitely does. Lucidity is taken down.
Spike planted.
Spike has been planted. Lash and Recon both used simultaneously. Information has been relayed, and now Capricious with the triple is going to put a shutdown to Alter Ego with the scoreline being 6-11. Now, this is something we call dreams do come true, and they are putting everything into the actions, because from nowhere to almost trying to reach them out, and they're not allowing a single round, not allowing them to reach the match point.
I mean, when you're at a score, when you're coming back from a 2-11, you don't really have many rounds to work with, because if you lose one, it's match point. If you lose another, it's game over. And I think that Zol have definitely realized that. They seem like this time they want to go in for an epic. They do have the Blade Storm for Lucidity. We might see that come out and a little bit of action coming through. But nevertheless, it's going to be the Hunter's Fury started off from Ayumi here. A bit of jumping action going around towards A lobby. And in she's going to be pushing off there and getting the pick towards mid here. Mija goes down. Nicole gets the trade though. The Haunt is going to spot out another player, and it's going to be Ineri who capitalizes off of that, getting the kill onto Nicole as well. It's going to be a 3v4 right now. And we've seen Zol bring it back though. It has to be the pick coming through for them right now to try and make this happen. Nabu Boy though, she's ready for it. She's waiting towards his garage angle. Does take a lot of damage, but takes Lucidity down in the meantime, and does manage to stay alive as well. So that's the Nightfall still on the board here for the side of Alter Ego. Just 2 players left right now for them, for the side of Zol, and they seem to have no idea where they want to go. They're waiting for some more aggression coming in from ACL, but the discipline is impeccable because they have a significant advantage and they don't want to throw it away.
And right now, the situation is each one takes 2 or none. If they are able to do that, they might win this round. They do have 2 ultimates to invest, and this is exactly where they shall be able to. But on the counter, they have 3 ultimates. And look at the angle. Capricious, if
30
at all,
seconds
is
left.
trying to go ahead. get blind entry. No, she's not. Indeed, she's going to get a blind invested, and also now it is the spike almost getting planted, but now it is all about the ultimate and also all
Last
the
player standing.
all the snipers is taken down and defenders reach the match point, and a good combination of blinds,
Match point.
nightfall, and everything was just about perfect in terms of execution to stop the plant.
I mean, I saw that coming at me, and I would be very scared because you have the
Fair.
Nightfall and then the Paranoia coming in conjunction with it. They just managed to pin down the players from Sol. That the spike, well, it might have managed to go down, but they still had to try and hold for the retake coming in from both the sides. And of course, Oriofilia's position, you have to talk about that because she clears out Garage, she pushes all the way through mid and gets that control. Either way, though, this is the last chance that the side of Sol have to try and make this work. They try to break the recon, try to smoke it off, but there's not. They don't manage to do it in time, and it's gonna spot out 3 players. They're still gonna be heading on though towards his ace side. The Cosmic Divide does come through, so it's gonna block off a few angles, and they manage to get control of the site here. It seems like ACL want to play on a retake here, even as that lockdown is invested. So much utility being invested here. And Lily, though, she has that showstopper, and she is gonna be trying to toss it in the direction of these players. Even as they try to stop the plant here, they managed to do a lot with it, and this still hasn't gone down. It's gonna be Satchel soon. It's gonna be Shock that's thrown in, and finally, after all that, they managed to get it down. Capricious left with just 8 HP after all that utility has come in her way, and then he jumps down, gets one, but the trade is left from Capricious. It's gonna be a 3v4 right now. Advantage still towards Sol here. Have some utility to work with as well. But so far, the spray is coming through from all three good impeccable. They already take down one. Hunter's Fury is committed as well. Ayumi gets one, Misha gets one as well. It's gonna be just Hunter's Fury just so left right now towards a short angle, and the fuse seems like it's coming through. She's just gonna stick it. She's gonna peek at all. Misha though, she's gonna clutch it out with that 3K from the Hunter's Fury as well as with that spray, and they will stay alive for yet another round.
All the utilities invested, everything done to stop the plant, but there was nothing that could have stopped Mija from getting a triple and a round for the team. 7-12. Still, it is not very doable, but now looking forward with the momentum with Zolas moving in, it still looks that they might be able to capitalize on everything that they are investing, except for 2 ultimates on the other side. And I believe personally, Alterigo is not going to initiate with the ultimates from the start. They are going to wait about getting the information. It is a side C commitment, and the players are trying to push in, false by intent, information. Or no, I don't know, but the Bucky is denied, and Neri taking down the teammate. Now that is the last loss that Alterigo could have afford.
Bring them down.
That was pretty unfortunate.
Last player
for
standing.
JJ. It's gonna be just Snaboboy left right now with this 1v4, and she's not gonna find anything as Nicole takes it down. That was a bit of a Kex moment before Iceberg. She does take a lot of damage to the spray as she tries to get the Bucky kill, but N80, well, it happens, you know, when you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, it's just bad luck, and I don't think she'll hold it against her teammate too much. Anyway, that's the halfway over in AACL. They will have enough for a full buy. You see, you do have the overdrive for Iceberg as well, and while she hasn't been able to find anything much in this match, we know how good it can be in the right situation when you're running at people in close corners and there's a lot of stuff going on. Definitely one of those rounds where you can capitalize off with the Neon ult. And it seems like Iceberg, she wants to take some C-long control early, but the side of Zol is expecting it, and AD does manage to make sure the round ends up with an advantage towards Alter Ego here. And just 3 players left for Zol. They don't have much map control either. They're going to be still watching spawn for the push coming through. They have to try and get a pick to try and go anywhere.
One pick to make it equal, and the spike is under their control. Ayumi holding the site very wisely. Oreo still having the same window control, garage window control, and there you're not going to leave site CMT as well. Shock that sent. No damage delivered, no information relayed, but at least now Alter Ego knows exactly that the team's always trying to invest into site C. Was it a fake? Is going to be a question. Are they moving out?
Placing alarm
I think that the recon coming through from Mija here is going to give them the information they require.
Scanning ahead.
That it is in fact going to be a C hit. They think that they waited long enough and they might not expect this crossfire coming in. The recon though does spotted an area, and that's going to
30
be Nicole
seconds left.
capitalizing on it, taking her down. That's a 3v3 right now. The site is gone as well, and the Haunt isn't going to give away any information either. Now, Boy, she's just going to be waiting towards his garage, but Capricious is ready for it.
Spike
Can she get the headshot?
Last
Nope,
player
Capricious does take her
standing.
down. Just Ayumi left all alone again, and Misha is going to take her down. 9-12, this comeback is really happening from Zol here. They need 3 more rounds to take this to a possible OT. And so far, it seems like Alter Ego, they are able to really contest against the pushes coming in because utility being used is so good. We saw it last time with Mija's clutch. We saw it this time with the recon coming in from her, and she's doing so much for her team here.
And now once again forced to ground zero. Only going in with the eco pistols, except for Iceberg, still sticking to Judge, and Oreo is not going to leave it either. She wants to go in with a Bucky play. On the contrary, they
Revealing
have
area.
Phantoms and Vandals to fight with. Ayumi trying to get the information, and she has got enough. I know the recon could not work totally, but she's aware about. Look, they are being pushed, and here we go. Ayumi for the shot takes down Lucidity. He is immediately traded by Capricious here. Now they have got the site control. Spike is going to be planted in no time. It is
Spike planted.
the players pushing into the spawn.
I think that Aureophilia, she takes down Nicole though with that Bucky. The trades on the C side are quick though. It's just going to be a 2v3 right now. They have managed to pick up those
them
upgrades,
down.
have the Prowlers and the Haunt to work with if they need to.
find you.
Aureophilia trying to get a couple of kills with the Bucky. Does win back, manage to find one, make that a 2v2 right now. Nabu Boy spots out Capricious, but it's going to be a 1v1 right now. Capricious does close it out. 24 HP to a name, and Zol stay alive for yet another round here. Almost losing that eco, but a win is a win. And with that, Capricious is also going to have that ultimate, the Rolling Thunder, available yet again. Now they have the Rolling Thunder, they have the Cosmic Divide. They have so much to work with here, and they're just one away from the lockdown as well. On the opposite side, there is a showstopper for Reneri. The thing is, all it takes is one round for Alter Ego. They just need to somehow pull it back, but they're not able to do so. Perhaps with the overdrive and the showstopper, they might be able to. The economy not really looking good either, because if they lose this one, it's going to be 11-12, and it should be a pretty easy overtime coming in for the side of Sol here. Again, it seems like they want to go towards the C side. You do see
You are
Nicole on the
divided.
lurk here, and they're going to be running into the side off the back of that Cosmic Divide and the Rolling Thunder. The rotation is quick from Iceberg, and Aureophilia will find one. The trade comes through though. That is going to make it a 3v4 as Nicole takes yet another while on the lurk.
Spike planted.
Cosmic Divide invested. Iceberg transitioning through, and the Mika is going to take the advantage out
Last
of it.
player standing.
Ayumi still sticking to the same mistake, and Neri coming in with the showstopper, and they are just one round away from the match point, and it is going to be OT, I believe. And I really want to talk about something about Alter Ego here. They have tried retakes, they have tried aggressive push, they have invested lots of ultimate, and something is not working for them, and I really don't know. I will have to sit and analyze entire match by the end of the day to see what went wrong. They are taken down first. The loss of one player should not cost them an entire round, but Team Zol being a little extra enthusiastic, and that is exactly what they have to do right now. Side C committed, and it is a 5-stack push coming in.
There is only one player left in that corner. Tries to go away, and they are going to leave the site for a retake right now. In fact, Capricious has managed to get a hands on an operator as well. And, considering that Capricious usually does play that chamber, it's very interesting to see here. Nicole as well taking on Naboboy, getting that first pick already for her team. Lockdown will enable the spike to go down without much ado, and there's so much that ACL has to do to try and retake this. Aureophilia ulting for a little bit of information, and taking down Mija, in fact, so that's going to be the Hunter's Fury offline. A very, very important kill. Executes though, she does get the trade here. Aureophilia making her way back. Very confused as to where exactly Blazer pulls out her smoke at the wrong time, and Lucidity will take her down. Just 2 players left right now for ACL, trying to get the defuse through, but the Killjoy Nanoswarms are going to be too good for them to do anything with it. They are going to be trying to stick the spike again, but Execute is just going to spray at them. There's no time left, and you're right, Tanya. It does seem that this is going to be overtime right now. Ayumi again doing as much as she can, but it's not going to be enough, and that's going to be 12-12. And what a comeback we have to say from the side of Zol here, from 2 to
Switching
11
sides.
to 12-12.
Overtime.
Can they close this map out? Can they steal this away from AECL?
This has been one hell of a match from the side of Zol, not leaving a single mistake, not leaving a single peak to anyone who interrupt, take them down. They are doing everything with the perfection. Now, if we talk about the weaponaries, it is fight of the equals for sure. There's not going to be any change there, but I do believe alter egos are very good on the attacking side. That the scoreline did mention it though, 10-2. Wonderfully well, and the curse was also not there. Zach, if at all it was 9-3, we could have blamed it on curse, but now there was no curse either.
Yeah, the only curse that seems to be happening is, unfortunately for ACL, they're not able to close out around here. And this OT, it seems like Zol definitely does have the momentum going in. They've struggled on the defense though. On attack, they're doing quite well. Mija and Capricious taking down 2 players already. That's the seaside open. I'm sorry, that's going to be the seaside open as well for ACL. Shocker doing a little bit of damage, but it's not going to really be enough. The spike should go down pretty easily. And look at the HP though for the side of the players here. They know the plant location though, and there is going to be that wall bang kill coming in, denying the plant yet again. All this utility being dumped in the direction of ACL, doing so much damage for them. And this is the half that Zol really had trouble with, right? They weren't able to play together. They weren't really able to win on defense. But if they take this down, it might be exactly what they need. But Iceberg, she gets one, tries to get the second, but Nicole is ready for her and gets a third as well. That's going to be 13-12. Zol just one round away from closing it out. And this is the thing on attack, right? The only round that they lost, it was the pistol. Take that in mind. That they only managed to lose the pistol. So definitely things are not looking very good for ACL.
Team Alter Ego needs to do something. And talking about Team Zol here, they are doing commendably well. And I would want to take my words back when I mentioned that Alter Egos are doing amazingly well on the side of attackers. Now, Zol has taken up everything, may it be defenders or attackers. And on the defender side, they not only gained the momentum, but also increased the scoreline towards a timeout. This is one of the opportunities. Side C almost looks committed, except for Nicole is still going to stick away from her teammates to get those opening frags. And I don't think Alter Ego is ready to make any mistakes.
They do want to play this cautiously because this is their map pick, and if they lose it, they're going to be heading into bind, which has been chosen by Zol, and obviously they have a strat for it. It seems like Eneri pushes out a bit aggressively, gets one, tries to stay alive here, but Nicole gets the hit. Pont is going to spot out at least one more player. Spike is dropped as well as Execuse gets taken down. That is going to be just a 3v4 right now, advantage towards ACL, but we've seen how quickly the momentum can swing in the direction of Zol on these rounds, even if there is an initial advantage. So the side of ACL will have to try and play carefully at this point. They shouldn't, try and get a bit over-eager and, try and get another pick, because that's the main reason why they've lost the previous rounds that have happened. It seems like Zol, they want to go for this B side here. They managed to walk in. Chama coming through as well towards Elong will give away the location of these players, and the spike should go down any second. Then it's going to be Iceberg though, who takes that first interaction, takes one. That's going to be a 2v4 right now. And they have to try and hold on to the side. Both players stuck here, and Ayumi will clean it up off the back of that paranoia. We're heading into yet another overtime. But the Alter Ego, they're not going to let this go easy.
Well, Roti, this is what we expect when you really want to win in an investment of hunters. You need to deliver a fun play with the teammate. And this is also a fun part within the tournament about how the teammates enjoy with each other. But I do believe Alter Ego is not having a good time. They're not enjoying it furthermore because they weren't expecting, neither was I believe viewers were also not expecting this sort of a table turning. Now it is all about this attacker round. If at all Team Zol is able to make it through the defenders, win this round, shall be once again a next page moving into an overtime. So it all depends upon how Team Zol is going to function in. And look at the split, Zach. It is all scattery, no commitment whatsoever.
Lucidity was gonna make these hero plays before, but this time it's not gonna work out. Eneri getting that first pick already, gets that second. In fact, this is the Eneri we know and love, bringing things back for ACL, already having 2 rounds in her pocket, just 1 kill away from that showstopper as well, and she's on the hunt here, gets that. In fact, Capricious goes down, pops the showstopper. Nicole though finally bringing things back, takes a
Bomb
lot of
grenade
damage.
out.
Only 33
Spike
HP left.
planted.
Irene will take her
Last
down as
player
well.
standing.
Hunting for the ace. It's going to be just Keats left alone in this 1v4. Spike has gone down as well, so the timer is not on her side. And Aneri, she wants this ace. She's hungry for it. All this time, it feels like she hasn't really unlocked, what exactly she's capable of. But she's finally back. Iceberg was going to deny that, and ACL take this 14th round. Very, very close to closing it out. We've seen
Switching
Aneri on him,
sides.
and this is like, I think this is the third
Match
or fourth
point.
time where she's managed to get a 4K during OT. In fact, to take it forward. So just Aneri doing Aneri things, it's pretty classic.
And now on the attacker side for Team Zol, well, what are they going to bring up their sleeves? Is there any trick left, or it is going to be AE winning this after the second overtime happening? They're not going to go C, I'm very sure. At least not the 5-stack push, the typical play which they were playing into the previous rounds. They are going to bring in some trick to win the round. Not so flawless, but still they got to do something. And garage is empty. They are not going to push in. They have got a plan towards side B recon, sent to no information, fault line, dash, side entry, flashes, everything sent. On the contrary, Prowlers are also sent to no information. Execrease is not going to delay the spike planting, and she has planted the spike.
Yeah, it's gonna be a full-on 5v5 mistake though. Flash coming through from Capricious does catch Eneri off guard. Iceberg though is able to get that trade, but takes a lot of damage in the process. Navuboy has 30 HP. Iceberg though capitalizing, gets a second. Navuboy gets third as well.
remaining.
It's gonna be just all in the hands of Nicole, left alone right now. Managed to take down one, but the diffuse is still coming through. Has to get the spray correctly. Needs one bullet, but it's not gonna be enough. And
Defenders
ACL, they're gonna
win.
get the diffuse. For a second, it looked like Zol had the comeback, but they finally find their footing. ACL managed to find their footing in the overtime to take this map off the back of that 4K from Eneri. That's the kind of morale boost that their team sorely needed. And yeah, they managed to get it in place. That's gonna be ACL taking the map pick, but it was a hard fight coming in from Sol. And you definitely have to commend them for their patience on attack, constantly waiting it out. And more than that, just having the mentality to try and come back from a score of 2-11.
They literally shook a little bit of confidence for Team Alter Ego. They were least expecting that they are going to hit this map for an OT, not only once but twice overall. And once they changed the set of play entirely, where they were pretty active on the defender side as well, and active in terms of aggressive, where they were pushing away from the sides to get those flags. They changed it. They went with the plan, which was play of patience. And as soon as the players started entering, they started to reduce numbers one by one. Even after the spike being planted, everything was done flawlessly well from the side of.
Is exactly what it was, and there was quite a lot of it as well. I think it was just a little bit of a late start for Zol coming in, so I'm definitely excited at how it's going to be going into the second map, because if this was a warm-up, what exactly kind of show do they have planned for the next match, which is going to be Bind, if I'm not wrong. And it seems like it's going to be Bind where ACL are on defense this time. Looking at the board though, it's going to be Eneri as always on top with 11 first bloods. That's astounding, because it shows that every time that she has pushed out, most of the time she's gotten that first pick for her team. So pretty insane coming in from her. Nabuboy as well on Fade. Well, you asked Tanya if Fade is going to be a good player for the side.
Well, everything. The show that was put up by Nicole, we must appreciate not only once, twice, every single time. She was the savior. And nonetheless, we must also appreciate the way executives were going ahead using the utilities right on time. The Cosmic Divide ones, where they were allowed to win an entire round with the combo bombo, or a bombo combo. Nicole and that case with that perfect lockdown and the Cosmic Divide. But nonetheless, Aneri, one of the most energetic player here, getting the first bloods. Look at the first blood comparison. Now that is what exactly is catching my eyes. The players trying to reach out. I mean, there's nobody nearing her as well, and she has got total of 11 first bloods. This is what all NRE is about. And talking about the objective plays from the side of Zol, we do have a lot of objective plays coming in from the side of Execuis, 9 plants, and Oreo trying to match up to the score. And for talking about the diffusals, well, we do see that on the screen. Zol getting one diffusal, on the contrary, Alter Ego getting two. But it was all about frags happening rather going for the objective win.
Yeah, I think that kind of focus is really important. And like you mentioned, I think they had a little bit of trouble in their defending half, managing to find those trades, managing to work ACL like really capitalizing on that. You saw them, even though they did get the first pick half the time, as demonstrated by Aneri's 11 first bloods, they still, they couldn't keep the advantage. A lot of the times you did see a beautiful coordinated push coming in from the side of Zol, where three players, they picked a side, they converged, and they got a pick. And after that, it was just neutralized. Any kind of advantage that ACL had, it was completely offline instead of playing for retake. And that's exactly what they managed to quickly fix going into the second overtime, because we saw that they left the side B open for retake. But it was perfectly fine because they still had all of their players alive and all the utility that brings in. Usually they have the recon, they had the stuns coming in from the neon, and with that it was a pretty easy retake for them. Like, sure, it was three. I think it was a 3v1 by the end of it. That's exactly what they were missing so far. But either way, Zol have proved out that they are definitely able to stand up as competition to one of the best teams from, I think the best team at this point from VCT Apex. So definitely they're putting up a very strong performance, and I'm excited to see. Lucidity has that syndrome where the first map she kind of seems a little bit off, but I'm excited to see if she's going to be activated in the second one. I think we are going to be having a short break before we head into bind though, so do stay tuned. We'll be back. I'm Zach, and with me here is Tanya, and we'll see you on the other side.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tanya. Alongside me, it is Zach, and I would want to say, what a start of the day! What an amazing day indeed! An action-filled day coming in from either of the side. A team like AE creating a humongous lead, and teams all chasing it as closely as possible and taking it towards a double overtime. Ultimately, the very first round going into the hands, indeed, a very first map going into the hands of Team Alter Ego. But next map is going to be the bind, where it is the choice of Team Zol now. They are going to start on the attacker's side. Let's see how they are going to pan out. If we talk about the lineup, Zach, what would you conclude here?
I mean, it seems like ACL are pretty confident. This is the comp that they have been running in their last two matches, especially in the grand finals for the VCT, which I think they won 13-3. So definitely something they're very confident with. Napski on the fade again. We saw how impactful she was in the last game, and it seems like it could be the same because it's a pretty similar comp. And Ayumi as well. She is gonna be going back to a usual chamber. Iceberg back to a
Choose your
usual Sova.
agent.
So I feel like on Haven, ACL were having a bit of fun, but now they're in serious mood as they have gone for the meta. On the opposite side, though, for Zol, it seems like they are going to be going in for that Astra yet again. Lucidity this time, possibly on the Reyna. They also have the Chamber from Nicole and Mija yet again on the Sova. So again, we saw, we did see how well Nicole played on that KJ. You know, you'd expect her to get a lot of more utility impact, but she was getting a mix of both, right? So when you have an agent like Chamber, you want a player who has absolutely fantastic aim on it, and both Ayumi as well as Nicole, from what we've seen in the previous match, it does seem like we'll be getting that kind of action coming in.
Well, action. I'm hungry for more already. A lot of action already. I would fall into the indigestion of action now, but still, I am hungry for more and more. And let's see how this action is going to end up for the map of mine. While talking about the expectations from my side, if I had to say, on the attacker side, Team Zol has given a very good chase, and I mean, it was unreal sort of a thing. Though we have seen that happening over more in other tournaments, but this was pretty unreal. Once again, they're going to start on the attacker side, so I would really closely want to observe, are they going to go for the lead? Are they trying to go ahead, create a buffer which makes it a little difficult for Team AE to fall or to chase, or it is going to be AE who is going to not allow the same mistake to get repeated? And as soon as I say that, the chip damages are here.
Yeah, the haunt from the Fade is gonna catch three players towards A shot as well as Showers. Again, one of those agents whose lineups is really proving instrumental. And off the back of that, Eneri is going to push out of Showers completely and go towards shot. She might be able to catch Mija on the lurk if she's not too careful here, as she is gonna be drilling. That's the information coming through. The Mr. Molly committed, and Capricious is gonna open things out for ACL, taking down the first pick, opening up the B side, and they have control of the elbow as well. So the spike should be going down shortly. It does seem like ASL are going to be in a position for a 4v4 retake, but look at the position of two of the players already trying to gain hookah control. A very unorthodox retake, I would say, coming in from the side of ACL, at least so far from them, but they're doing a fantastic job here. The radar as well coming in clutch as she's able to take the
Last player
and get
standing.
out. It is going to be Neri though who takes her down with 3 kills on the round, and it is going to be Alter Ego who take the first round here. It was a good execute coming in from Zol, but the control they had was just not enough, because even though they had elbow, they didn't have hookah, and it didn't seem like they had the smokes to smoke it off either, which made the retake much more doable.
The hookah push, though, one frag was taken down by Lucidity, which was fairly not enough, because the elbow was already totally conquered by Alter Ego. And as soon as she was taken down, there was nothing much more that could have been done. And the retake, it was commendable, because the push was not very aggressive, or we cannot say it was all about dumping the utilities, trying to gain the side. It was pretty clean, but the retake was not so difficult as well, by taking down 2 players and trying to own the side. And as soon as I say that, the second round is on the line. It is a 1v4 stack, 4 stack push towards side B, and Neri is trying to get an entire vision. What is she up to? Going for a TP move, and Iceberg holding in.
Iceberg does get one though. Capricious dashes right into a crosshairs, and even though again they have elbow control, I don't know if they'll be able to get the spike down at all because ACL, they are not rotating through the CT, they're coming through the teleporter there. And it's gonna be Oriophilia, they're holding down the flank, does go down, but the spike still in the hands of Capricious. Well, she has to win out this 1v4 to try and make anything happen, and it's gonna be Iceberg who closes it out, getting the first kill of the round and the last as ACL take their second. They did lose two players, both Eneri and Oriophilia being lost in the action, but the reads coming through from them are absolutely impeccable. I think they've read just after the first round that Zol is a team that likes going for elbow control. So they're just letting it go. They're like, yeah, you guys can have elbow, you can watch CT, we'll just rotate from the other side.
And there's nothing that can stop Alter Ego at this point of time. The way they are trying to go, except for the weaponaries right now, the choices that they are making in, and the Team Alter Ego with the basics, Guardian Spectres. On the contrary, Teams all are pushing in with all the ARs into their possessions in the mix of Phantoms and Vandals. Now, upper hand of weaponaries lies into the hands of Zol. This is the exact time where they shall be able to get an entire round into their name. If they miss this again, they are going to fall into the trap of ground zero eco. The split once again continues, Zach. It is 1:4, and Site B does have a player, Iceberg, watching for everyone to push it.
Yeah, the Prowler though from Napski towards Showers, that's gonna give away that there's only one player playing towards his A side, so they know it's a B execute. Alter Ego are this time trying to go for the elbow hole, and Nicole is gonna get that first kill onto Ineri with that Vandal. Napski though, she gets the chin. Ayumi that to take on Lucidity as well, who goes just a little bit too far, and it's gonna be a 3v4 retake right now. Sova though here, it is going to be Iceberg, who's pretty low here. That one shot that might do enough damage to take her down. Ayumi though, she's gonna be holding strong. Capricious takes down Navaboy. In the meantime, Mija taking down Ayumi as well. It's gonna be just Iceberg trying to do whatever economic damage possible, and the hold is strong for Zol on that B side. The angles watch were perfect, and of course, they do manage to get some very clean headshots to be able to take the round. So that was an extremely nice execute. I like this 4-stack coming in from ACL, by the way, 3 or 4-stack, because they know that if they have the ability to try and retake it, like when you have a Brimstone, a Raze, as well as a Fade, there's not much that you can really do to hide, and I think that's what they're capitalizing on. But after losing that, I think this time they want to try and go for a little bit of a more commitment towards B. You're gonna be having two players, in fact, playing here, both the Chamber and the Sova. But it seems like yet again, Zol wants to hit that B.
Aneri moving out of the bat to spot if there's someone. Indeed, there's no one. It is once again 1:4 split, and Side B is under control of total of two players. Immediate teleport coming to the action. Two players from the side of AE going for the longest route, but Capricious getting a frag. Ayumi taken down. Now that is a loss already. Spike planted, Site under control. Eisenberg through the hookah is going to get one for herself.
Nicole though gets the trade, and it seems a little bit rough for ACL because they have no control and no idea where half these players are playing right now. Capricious getting another one, NAD finally being able to take it down, but that's a position known. Lucidity cleans up Oriophilia, and it's just gonna be NAD in a 1v3. We've seen her clutch out these things, but the block is not in her favor. She tries to snatch a in and get a kill, but Lucidity is too quick for that. She takes it on. That's gonna be the second round for Zol here as they take the B side and take the round. It seems like this retake plan that Alter Ego has going for the B side is not really working out in their favor, and they should try and reconsider what exactly to do here, because the moment they let the side go, it just doesn't seem to be able to jump back into their possession. And I think they are going to be trying to come and get another player. In fact, they're going to be going for the 4-stack towards B, and this has been read almost perfectly by the side of Zol here. To be fair, it is an eco round. You would want to stack as much as possible, but nevertheless, it's going to be Oriophilia who has to face the brunt of this push coming in towards Showers.
And there's nobody to take care of the Showers. Few smoke show. Dash and Site entry already spotted Nicole. Setting up all the utilities, and also the player who is going for the flank and trying to enter on the coast. The spike is flawlessly planted while the players are still into the side, and Neri taking down Nicole. It is a eco round for the Alter Ego, but Mija not only one with total of 2 frags, and they are trying to procure as much of information as possible. But are they aware about Oreo's positioning? Is the question. No, they were not. They were not.
Last player standing.
Capricious could have taken down, but it is all about 1v3. And Nija is going to take a triple and a round. This is going to be a third round for Team Zol. And I believe it is a third consecutive one.
Yeah, it's something that they really needed, and they're putting up a power pack show and attack here. It seems like Lucidity as well as a fellow duelist, they finally managed to wake up. It seems like Lucidity just needed a little bit of aggressive backup here, and she's getting that in spades from her fellow Jet. The dash, the flash, and the duelist play coming through, they always manage to get the sight off of that, and they're managing to hold on to it as well, which is really working out. This time, it again seems like they want to go for the push here. However, the ultimate, the tour de force is available right now for Ayumi. The hot as well, the lineup gonna spot out multiple players and might even buy a little bit of time on the push if necessary. The drone though is coming through, and is ready to break it on B long. It's gonna not really give away much information. The shock touch trying to clear out this position, but it might not be enough as the rotation quickly comes through from Zol. The Cosmic Divide is invested as well. They don't want to go anywhere towards the B side, but Iceberg, she's ready for it. She gets the first pick. The trades are quick though, and it seems like off the back of that, the A side has been lost again. I love this read coming in from Zol because they heard the tour de force. They know that it's probably gonna be down B long, and they also spotted out Ayumi there, and they're like, yeah, we don't want to go anywhere that Ayumi is playing. Here comes the showstopper coming in though, and that is going to be Lucidity getting one. ODFB are trading it out. The showstopper not really finding anything, but it doesn't matter because off the back of that, they're able to get some control. Lucidity left in a 1v2, has to clutch it out, but ODFB, she turns around quickly and flicks to get that pick. And it seems like Alter Ego finally figured out what exactly to do to win on this defense here as they bring it back to 3-3.
A good read would be the perfect word here. The way they tried to get a frag and then execute to get entire site control. Though tour de force was wasted out by Lucidity, and Lucidity was gradually left for the situation of 1 versus 2. Though into the Empress mode, there's nothing that you can beat against a double peak, and that is exactly what happened. And now, talking about the current situation, tour de force from the side of Alter Ego could not do wonders gradually, but over here on the side of Zol, we do have tour de force being activated, and B long should be one of the favorite places to use, but it is not the case of scenario. It is going to be A through the shards. Iceberg is very near, and Ayumi with an operator trying to get the vision clearer about how many players are trying to push in.
She manages to get one, in fact, with that aggression coming in from both Ayumi and Inedi. They get 2 right now, and that's going to be a huge swing towards Alter Ego's momentum as they take down 2 of the players, especially considering who they were, because that's going to be the Sova offline, no more intel available, no more shock darts, no more recon, nothing. And it is also the Jets, so that's going to be, it's going to make taking space very difficult, but she just manages to walk into his side and take them down. Neverboy trying to commit the Nightfall, but while it does tag players, it's not really gonna be enough. And with that, the momentum has quickly shifted back in the direction of Zol. We saw this happen in the previous map where side of Orego got a little bit too trigger happy, and Lucidity, she's finally woken up. She gets one enemy remaining. Ayumi left in a 1v1 right now. Does she expect this rotation coming in the side of Lucidity? She does, but she still hits the shot nevertheless. And Zol bring it back here, 4-3. A lovely round coming in. Even though they got into a situation where they were at a huge initial disadvantage, they still managed to push together. And we've seen this on Haven as well. This is how they managed to get 11 rounds in a row.
And this is what they are on the attacker's side, and the way they are pushing in, the way even after the early loss of the players, they lost 2 quite early on, one with the operator, one with the AR, and then ultimately still being able to win the round. And it is all for Lucidity for this particular round. Getting a Cobra was fairly good enough to win the round, but now it is going to be a 4-stack push towards B main once again. There's a lot of utilities which is going to reveal about the positioning, but are they aware? Anaria's got different plans. She might be able to get one. And if this is how she plays, she might also be able to procure 2. Headhunter is going to take down Capricious. Shock Dart's also coming into the action. And now it is going to be executed. Putting a shutdown to Ayumi. Site under control. Spike will be planted. 2 players pushing in through main. And reducing it to the equalizer. 2 versus 2.
And he has picked up the Vandal, and that can be the point upon which this round turns here as she tries to make her way into side. So our recon will be broken, so it's not going to give away any kind of information as they try to clear out this elbow
Last player
methodology.
standing.
But executes, she's looking in the wrong direction at the wrong time, and she will be able to take her down. And with that, that's going to be the 5th round for Zol on their map, proving to be extremely strong here. And it seems like Alter Ego, while they are able to push out on a particular angle, the fact that Zol, they're not really defaulting here, right? We saw them trying to have Nicole on the lurk in the first round or two, but from that point, it's just going to be them 5-stacking, committing, and going for it. And it's really, really working out for them. They're like, yeah, we don't need to default anymore. We're just going to go for the executes. And those are the rounds which they are winning with a... They are close, but it's still a win for them. So Alter Ego, they need to figure out where exactly they are, going wrong here. Again, it's going to be a 4-stack coming in towards this B side. 2 players towards long here. Neri and Ayumi, dynamic duo, trying to hold strong, but Capricious is going to take the first blood. And it's going to be Neri left alone on this B side, trying to hold on, gets one, tries to get the second, but Capricious is down for the trade.
Plans from Zol are pretty strong. They are trying to get the first blood. Then with the blood, they're not doing hit and run. They are committing. They are committing for the second one as well. And are they aware that Nabubai is going to be on the site? Because they're not entering. That is indicative that one or the other player is going to wait out. Watch out. Mija not rushing in.
Scanning ahead.
And is going for the information, but Nabu is not going to get revealed, sure. It was a bait of utilities and making players to hold. And once again, Empress activated.
The rotation did seem to be a little bit of a mistake, but Capricious manages to make it work because she gets 3 off the round already. Now by taking out Mija as well, that's going to be a 2v2 right now. Oriafilia still holding strong, and this is going to be the interaction upon which is round pivot. She's going to get the information, gets the kill as well, and it's all just in the hands of Navsky here, who is not going to be doing much because both Lucidity as well as Capricious become the spear tip of the push that Zol is charging into the sights here and really pulling off those interactions. I think that ACL, they need to take a timeout here. They need to figure out what exactly they can do better because it is yet again a eco for them. Their economy in an awful place. They will have some sheriffs as well as some ultimates to work with. Ayumi does have the tour de force yet again, but I don't think she got much with it the last time she had it as well, Tanya. So will she be able to be in the right place this time?
Let's hope she does at least, because Capricious, well, certainly from bottom 2 to top 2 in just one round and with the Quadra, and now this time they're not still sticking to the same plans. No changes there except for the split. This time they're going for 2:3 ratio. Hookah push coming in. There's a player waiting in the hookah. Are they aware about it? So it is Iceberg with a Bucky. Can be risky. Can be traded. Can be done either way. Let's see how everything is going to pan out. Nicole taking down Iceberg in no time.
Charges.
Oh, that looked a little bit scary, and Nicole barely stays alive. Never mind. As I said, the LED takes her down. You see here the TP is coming through, and they are going to be heading for the A side. In fact, where it is the tour de force lying in wait for them. They try to go to pick up the gun, and it's going to be Lucidity who gets caught but gets the kill nevertheless. With that, it does seem like the A side is open. Mija does use the recon bolt to try and spot out anything. But the tour de force misses in fact, and she gets that pick. The showstopper committed, not really finding anything either. Just a 2v4 right now for the side of ACL. Oriafilia gets one, but it's just gonna be her left alone in this 1v3. Positionally, not having much of an advantage either because they know exactly where she is, and Lucidity is gonna close it out with a 3k. Where was the Lucidity on the last map? That's my question.
That was a warm-up map, maybe. And now it is all about the heat that she is creating entirely, not only for herself, but also for the opponents. And if we compare the entire 10 players, not only the team comparison, but also with the opponents, the only player to close in near to the double digit of 20s. And this round might be it, because every single time she's sticking to a triple, to a quadra, sometimes double as well. And let's see if she's going to go for the same, because this time it is Ayumi missing a tour de for sure, but she has not missed D-Long's operator for quite too long. Cosmic Divide is going to be the key factor for the start, and Iceberg with the Hunter's Fury. No frags, but still, no frags with the Hunter's Fury still. It is going to be weaponaries taking down 2 players. 3 versus. Sorry.
Capricious does push out, and she does have that U-Haul control
Out of
taking
the
down
charges.
the Sova there. That's going to be a 3v4 right now. Advantage still towards ACL. And you're
One
going against
enemy
another
remaining.
one. And that's going to be a clean round for the defense here. Fantastic plays coming into ACL. I don't think they really need it because
Last
they are in
round
defense.
before
They
the
want to try and
switch.
close this half out as close as possible. Especially considering that they are only running Ineri on the duelist. To be fair, Ineri on the duelist is worth any two other random people. But she has a lot to do for her team here when it comes to creating space and taking control on the attacking half off the back of the double initiator util coming in. In the meantime, though, it is going to be a full buy for both these teams. The economy is available, and I think there are some ultimates as well. Mija does have the Hunter's Fury to try and work with if they can get a
Get
planted
out
or
of my
even
way.
to try and get an initial pick. That's going to be the
Revealing
Bladestorm
area.
invested as well from the side of Capricious here. She does have that to try and get a kill with it, but Nicole is going to in fact get that first pick on Neri, who gets a little bit too trigger happy, a little bit too aggressive. The battle being spotted out by Ayumi, but she falls back here. It's not really going to be able to capitalize off of that. And while it seems like the rotation has come in, they still want to go for this B side. Ayumi, though, again missing a shot, has to fall
They
back,
found my
has to
trap.
TP out, and the trademark gets broken as well, so she doesn't even have a safe exit here.
Which is the weapon. Now with the Vandal, shall be able to do more for the close call duels. The players are going to push in, blind as well as drone, everything sent in to get the information as well as the entry. Ayumi on the course is going to take down one of the key players, which is Lucidity, but little do you know, Oreo is going to still take care of the showers, but Mija is going to overpower that. Iceberg is also holding it. So Mija taken down. It is a 3 versus 3 duel, except for Bladestorm and Nightfall being activated, where the spike will be
Spike
planted.
planted.
Caprice is taking down Nabu in no time.
Last player
2
standing.
versus 3. As soon as I say that, is all up to Ayumi. Will she go ahead and get the operator? Or is she going to go for the? Okay, this is the last round. She has to commit and get those frags to get the KD ratio better.
Yeah, it's not just a KD, it's not just a personal KD, right? It's a clutch that she has to make to try and get an advantage. But Exekius, she's having none of that. And that's going to be an 8-4 half for Zol, looking
Switching
incredibly
sides.
strong on their map pick. And I love this, again, like these little reads coming in from them, they're absolutely fantastic. Like, again, this is the second time when Napski, she tried to use the Nightfall, but as soon as she pulled it out, she got taken down. This is the second time it's happening. Either way, though, it seems like once the sides are reversed, AEC will have to find some initial momentum pretty quickly, because if they lose that pistol, it is going to put them in a bit of a rough place. We do see comebacks happening, but the closer the scores are in general, the better it is for your team. And looking at the KD, looking at the scoreboard, though, it seems like Exeki's, Lucidity, and Capricious have dynamically woken up from the last swap. I think Haven was, like you mentioned, Tanya, just a warm up for them, and they're finally here to play. And they're doing it in fantastic form. It seems like ACL are going to be going in for that B execute here. All 4 players running up towards B long off the back of that Sova recon. And the smoke should come down, and the entry will come through as well. But they
Launching
have
smoke.
to make their way through all this Astra utility here in this corner. It doesn't matter though, as Inedi just goes running in for the LT and gets control of it as well.
Side switch, no frag, a lot of utilities dumped, and as soon as I say
Spike
that the
down,
players
B.
follow no please, it is all versus 2 and 3 players remaining from the side of Alter Ego.
One
Are they
enemy
going to
remaining.
get an opportunity to plant the spike?
break.
And they don't want to plant the spike. They want the finishers, and that is what Team Alter Ego did in the previous map. Again on the attacker side, they are trying to do that. And a good start for the pistol round. Will they be able to continue? That is going to be a question. And they are also sticking to side plays. Now that is something common in both the teams.
Yeah, the B side is way harder to retake. Like we saw the struggle, we saw how much Alter Ego struggled with that. So that's definitely good for them. It seems like looking at the map, though, Zol wants to go in for a gamble stack towards A, but unfortunately for them, the read isn't exactly accurate. It is going to be a B push coming through. Again, the same push coming in. It is going to be the recon from the Sova, taking long control off the back of that, and the players are just running in right now. So much utility invested to try and take an empty site. The thing is, though, they don't know it's empty. Ayumi taking down the chamber here as Nicole tries to teleport back here in for the action, but the rendezvous, she's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that's gonna be a 4v5 right now as Zol. They have to try and retake this site with almost no utility, no additional firepower apart from some classics, and they're sort of gonna be stuck here. All 4 players towards a CT angle. It seems like there's not much they can do right now.
Mija with the hookah control is not going to deliver anything, but look at it, Dantos from Ayumi.
One enemy remaining.
Shut down, and Neri is trying to clean swipe everyone on the side, and Oreo is trying to just give some random shots. Well, they were not random, and she's going to use Burst Classic and get the finisher. Second round going into the favor of Team Alter Ego. I believe their egos are hurt now. The way Team Zol, we cannot say smashing away, but sure, they were trying to create such a humongous lead. Now they're closing in, and the buffer is left for only 2 more points, which is quite doable. Except for the weaponaries, it is going to be SMGs on the side of AE. On the other sides, we are going to have a lot of Phantoms and Vandals. So I do believe Zol has got an upper hand with Lucidity on the Empress.
It is available, and it seems like ACL, they are trying to make the most of this bonus round. They're trying to get in close with those Spectres, but the Astral pull, the gravity well is too good for them to get through. And Eddie, though, she still manages to pick up that upgrade as well as that first frag. The control of the A side has been lost. Zayubi gets a second. Capricious goes down as well. It just seems like deathmatch at this point for these girls. Girls Alter Ego take the side, get the plant, and prepare for a 2v4 post plant here. They have control of the entire area. It has to be Lucidity and Nicole who have to try and take this back. But look at the positions from the side of AECL here.
One enemy remaining.
Playing aggressively towards us. You all already taking down Nicole. It's just Lucidity right now left in this 1v4. And she's not able to find much either as Ayumi takes it down with a clean headshot.
And you know what else did they get? Free upgrades of weapons here. And all thanks to Team Zol at the moment. And now Team Zol is going to suffer a little while with the eco crash. Let's see if they're going to make up this round, or are they not? Are they not going to be allowed to again create the momentum? Because the way Alter Ego with the side switch, this is exactly what happened in the map of Heaven as well, Zach. The momentum was created by Alter Ego, was totally crashed down by Zol. Zol did create a lead. Now that is all crashed down by Alter Ego, and right now Nabu gets the first frag, followed by Mija trying to take down an AD, successfully takes down with the Marshall. Now retake. Well, it is going to be a 4 versus 4.
Mija, they're really making it work with that Marshall. Already getting to gets a third in fact on the Napsky here. Gets a fourth with the classic on the ace, trying to get it. But Iceberg, he's too quick with that Spectre. Takes it down one. The Capricious will peek out and get that thrifty round for Zol here. Absolutely fantastic plays coming in from them, especially from Mija, who uses the Sova util, spots out a couple of players, peeks at the right time, and that's the thing about the Marshall, right? Like even if you don't manage to get a headshot, you still do a decent amount of damage which your teammates can pick up on, which is why it's such a favorite weapon on these eco rounds. Definitely something that Zol used to their advantage as they go in for a full buy again this time. They do have executies back on the Odin, considering it anyway, because we saw how impactful it was on Haven, especially in the last couple of rounds. Either way though, it seems like Alter Ego does have enough money to try and buy again, and this time they're going to be going back to their favorite on the B side. This time though, they're not getting long control for free, unlike usual, because there are going to be 2 players playing here, both Reina and Jet, waiting to see how much damage they can do. Well, Executes is in sight. Ayumi though, she takes on both of them somehow. The gravity well not really doing much here as 3 players already fall from the side of Zol. The B side open yet again, and it seems like ACL has this round locked up.
Spike planted. Hunter's Fury has to be saved for the next round. There's no way they're going to use it, invest it in the round which is almost lost.
One enemy remaining.
Nabu is also going to reduce player. Mija taken down. It's all up to the last man standing. And he's also reduced pretty well. The damages are tolerated by Nicole, not wanting to go out of the sight, out of the smoke. And Oreophilia is not going to wait for the vision. She is going to make sure she gets that frag and 1 round away from the equalizer. And talking about the ultimates, we have 4 ultimates ready from the side of Alter Ego, and Iceberg is just 1 frag away, or maybe 1 ult orb away. On the contrary, if we talk about the ultimates for Team Zol, Mija has got the ult ready. Everybody is quite far away. Lucidity is quite far away. Everyone else is 1 or 2 frags away.
Yeah, it is gonna be a hero by Operator of all things coming in from Capricious this round. I think she's banking on having the Blade Storm available. And yep, she does manage to make it work. That's a showstopper offline. They still do have the Nightfall available. I think what they wanted to do was use both of them in
You want to
conjunction, but
play?
now
Let's
they
play.
might just opt to save it for the next round. Ayumi pulls out her Operator as well. She wants to play alright, and she has to take down Capricious before they can try to make any kind of headway into this side. Peeking out from on top of the box here, but isn't gonna catch anything. Capricious, in fact, takes her down. That's going to be the second off that hero operator buy. And I don't know if Alter Ego expects this because, you know, they know that there's an operator available and there are still 2 more players who have come in to back up Capricious. But Aureophilia, she catches the flankers and takes both of them down. That's going to be the B-side open. The call has come and the rotation is happening. And I wonder if Capricious can make it to the city in enough time to be able to catch the rotation. She does, but she's not going to hit the shot here as Aureophilia gets the kill. The Hunter's Fury is committed as well, but it's not going to find anything as the plant will come through.
Spike planted.
Plant totally came through. Lucidity reducing the numbers. It is a 2 versus 2. 2 ultimates still to be played, and this is going to be the exact time where we can expect Orbital Strike hopping in. Nabu has got a good angle. He missed the shots, but that was pretty
Last
quick.
player standing.
And Orbital Strike does come to the action, but Oreo is taken down. On has revealed the positioning. One player sticking to defuse, other trying to take the fight and getting one down. No, there's Lucidity and a 50 round coming in from the side of Team Zol. Capricious with the operator, saves the day, saves the round, and not allow the equalizer. Indeed, moving in ahead with the double digit.
It is going to be a 10-8 right now off the back of that hero operator. 3 kills for Capricious, and they managed to get it back as well. They had enough time to go pick it up, so things are looking a little bit dire for Alter Ego. At least when it comes to rounds, the economy is still very healthy after the first 3 rounds they won in a row there, so they will be able to buy in. This is the round which they have to make work though, because they do have the showstopper available from Eneri here. Again, Capricious though, she's gonna be the one who strikes first, takes down a Yumi with a headshot, and that means there's also not gonna be much backup ability available. Eneri does push in with a showstopper, doesn't really get anything though as the chamber TPs away. The Nightfall is going to be invested as well as the Hunter's Fury. Try and get any kind of entry into sight, and they are going to find 2 kills off of all the utility being dumped towards the B side here. Spike should be going down any second, but the operator hasn't gone offline yet. Never mind. As I say, it's going to be Eneri who takes her down. Mija though trades it out, and it's going to be a 2v3 retake. We've seen this come through though from Lucidity and Mija. Both of these players putting up an absolutely power-packed performance.
One
today,
enemy
and
remaining.
it might be what the side of Zol needs, but it's looking very dire right now because it's only going to be Mija left, and she gets taken down by Napski. Excellent execute coming in from Alter Ego off the back of those 3 ultimates which were committed, which I think at least 2 of them found kills.
Nightfall also was able to give the revelation and concussion right on time. The investment of ultimate is equal to winning a round, so it was a perfect investment. On the contrary, now we do see a Tour de Force being activated from the side of Zol. If at all at this point of time Zol is able to accumulate some frags out of this Tour de Force, they can close in towards the match point. If not, let's see where are they heading forward, because now the Alter Egos are also trying to push in. Once again, we do see Blade Storm also activated. A 5-stack push hopping in on the side of B-Long.
I love the way that they're going for this aggressive B-long control here off the back of all this, and it is going to be the Cosmic Divide though which comes in, so they have to cross it to try and get the planet. They don't know what's on the other side. She's quickly getting the trades in. It is going to be Napsky though who does get through right path, and it seems like they just have to wait out this Cosmic Divide before they can get the plant. In fact, they are going to be going in for a CT plant here.
One
After
enemy
clearing out
remaining.
those angles, Iceberg takes on lucidity as well. It's just going to come down to
for
Nicole on the door, of course, tries to hit the shot but misses, and that is going to be 10-10 right now. Alter Ego bringing it back from a 4-8 half. And they look poised to try and take this because with that, the economy is going to be broken for the side of Zol. You do see some judges as well as other assorted guns coming through, but Zol has nothing in the pocket right now. They are going to be forcing through. You see 3 players on light armor, a Guardian, 2 Guardians as well, but this is the last round they have in their pocket. If they lose this, it seems like it's a clear path for ACL.
They are trying to collect all the nickels and pennies into their pocket to create the best of weapons to take a good fight with the equal round 10-10. This is going to be one of the teams taking the lead. And again, a same approach, 5-stack push, through B main, shock darts invested, Nebulas on, stim beacon, whatnot. It is an entire utility. But they going in for a teleporter after all the utility bait.
However, there are 2 players on the side, the third coming in as well. So they will spot, and they will get both somehow. I don't know how she got them both. Chamber still here though, the backup with Napskis cleans it up, and that's the A side taking Capricious finally getting a pick to try and even things out. But it's a
One
really
enemy
rough for
remaining.
Zol right now. Nothing much that it seems like they can do. It's just Capricious left again in a 1v4 on her lonesome. Has to try and get these picks, but seems like there's not much she can do here. She's just gonna be waiting for ACL to make a mistake. That aggressive peek from Oriophilia is gonna be punished. The Haunt not really catching her either. This is the time that she has to try and push out to try and win this round for a team. She will spot out the chamber here and tries to get the headshot, but there's not much time left, and there's not much time left, and she might just try to go for the save.
And this is a perfect decision that she's trying to go for, because we did mention that they have got an economy crash and now this Vandal is going to mean a lot to them. Though 1 point of lead for the side of Alter Ego in no time, and now how is Zol trying to retaliate with the team who is doing commendably well, and the weapon is also not saved. Nabu is not going to allow that weapon to be used in the next round, and timeout activated. Well, let's see if this timeout is this comes from the side of Zol, and it is totally understandable. Entire lead is all gone. Indeed, now they are 1 point lesser than what the opponents are. Okay, this is not the tactical timeout, this is the technical timeout hopping in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so sorry, I think I was talking with my mic muted, Tanya. Apologies for that. Either way, like I started saying, it's looking really rough right now for Zol, because they are 1 round below, but more than that, they have nothing left in the bank. You saw that they invested everything they had to pull that last bite together, and right now, if they eco this round, they will have to play for overtime here. It doesn't seem like they have much of a buy available. On the other side, Alter Ego, they have the ultimates, they have a lot of utility that they've been dumping very successfully so far to try and take the site, and it seems like again they want to go for B, but Zol, they've read it right. They have 3 players stacked towards long here. The aggressive push might in fact just be stalled, especially with the judge coming in from Capricious.
The judge shall be able to get some change here, initiating with a grenade on the hookah. Neri is still going to push in. Prowler sent, and no information yet. Yet should be the keyword here. Drone sent. That shall be able to deliver a lot of information. Are they going to get the immediate side control? Because the total of 3 players, Nabu is going to reduce
One
Capricious
enemy
for the fight, and with only last player standing, Nabu with the triple is going to go towards the match point. Everything is doable here from 8-4 to
Match
12-10.
Yep, it is going to be 12-10 match point for ACL, looking so strong on bind as well. And this is one of the reasons why I was wondering why exactly Zol would go for bind, because looking at their map pool, it's not a map that they have a really good success rate on. They're pretty good on Fracture, they're pretty good on Icebox, but I guess that has to do with the bans coming in. One of the maps that was in fact instantly banned by ACL was Icebox. They were like, no, we're not playing these guys on Icebox, and that's some fantastic reads coming through. Again, ACL, they want to commit towards this B side here, taking control of B long pretty quickly, having to clear out that smoke as well, and they have the problem for that, so it's not going to be much of an issue. The Haunt coming through possibly coming through as well to give information on both sides, but they're just going to hold on for a little bit in case they're being flanked, because I think that the bot might have caught something here. The rotation comes through as well, so it's going to be just the Astra alone on the side. Lucidity though, look at her position. She's pushed away all the way up to a shot here, but Aneri is ready for it. She takes her down. That's going to be one of the most important players for the side of Zol going down here. Iceberg gets another, and it seems like it's almost over right now. Just Capricious left alone on this A side. Nicole comes to back her up though, gets another kill, and it remains to be seen if ACL can close it out with a little bit of a disadvantage.
Little bit massive, all the way from nowhere to 2 versus 2. A good fight
One
for
enemy remaining.
Zol, and now Aneri has reduced it to a last player standing. Got a Blade Storm. She has
Spike
to
planted.
invest it, and she does it. 1v2, and a dream comes true. No, Aneri is
Attackers
going to
win.
not allow those dreams to come true. And Showstopper will still be used, and that is where you win it. Alter Ego makes the day 2-0 clean sweep, but a good fight coming in from the side of Zol.
Yeah, that was quite a map coming in from both these teams. To be fair, though, Haven was multiple overtime, so definitely Zol looking like a strong contender with their new pickup here. But nevertheless, it's gonna be a 2-0 victory for Alter Ego. A very very quick series, I would say. A grueling one nevertheless, because both these maps were insanely close, and I think that both of us are pretty sad, Tanya, that we're not going to be seeing Fracture heading into it. But who knows, we do have the second map coming up where we will be seeing the players from Zol yet again, this time going up against Bren Victress. Looking at the map, looking at the scoreboard though, it seems like Lucidity, last map she seemed like she had a little bit of trouble, but this map she is going to be the MVP for the side of Zol here alongside Capricious. In fact, Capricious will have the most first bloods this time, 6. In fact, we saw how aggressive she was on the attack, always trying to get that first pick for the rest of her team. And even if she doesn't, she created enough space so that they could get the side. You saw the kind of aggression coming in on attack. On the opposite side though, well, no surprises. It is going to be an Aerie.
Aneri brings no surprise here, no shocks here. It is all about, we do expect some such stuff coming in from side of Alter Ego and Aneri, but nonetheless, I always appreciate the supportive play coming in from Iceberg in this particular map, where Hunter's Fury was invested several times. Indeed, twice I particularly noticed where sometimes the damage was delivered, sometimes the side entry was blocked, and on the defender side, they did an amazing job. Once again, I believe Alter Ego has got an upper hand when they are planning on playing on the defender side. And now, if we talk about the other team, which is all for now, they've got a strong hand. If we talk about the attackers side, well, this is how the day ends. We don't get to see Fracture, at least not in the morning. Maybe in the evening. You really never know.
Yeah, well, I hope we will be seeing some Fracture and Breeze, hopefully coming in from the teams which will be playing in our second semi-final for the day, which will, I think, be happening at 6 p.m. So do make sure you come back. And that's going to be between the girls of Zol versus Bren Esports Victress, who, after losing to AECL in their first quarterfinal, they've made the lower bracket run all the way up here. In fact, yesterday, I think they beat Orangutan to get to the second semi-final, and that was a close map as well. So definitely a team to watch out for. We will talk a lot more about them once we head into the map. And I think, like Talia mentioned, we're done for now. We will be seeing you back in a few hours, though. So come back at 6 for the second semi-final to see who will be facing Alter Ego in the grand finals happening tomorrow. This is Zach, and with me here is Talia, and we are casting this for you today.